Pixel dreams exist in a hyper-connected world, one where 5G networks have been widely and globally deployed, where functioning society depends on the billions of connected devices. We know that the amount of data contained in this world is exponentially increasing. However, we do not put much thought into what this world would look like, what the data will be used for, and what it can do. One thing that hyperconnectivity might bring is increased resilience through connectivity infrastructure. The speculated Southeast Asian data center corridor could create transnational unity and collaboration in the region for the digital society. A major node in Southeast Asian connectivity is in Singapore, which comes in top for data center development, which she utilizes for her shift into the digitization of her economy and governance. Pixel Dreams is founded by a hacker group called ProtoCol, who aims to utilize methods of participatory governance for the purpose of theorizing, developing, and deployment of inclusive infrastructures in a hyper-connected world. They work upon the observation that the unrealized democratic potential of hyperconnectivity has led to governmental processes and decision-making structures, leading most citizens to feel uninvolved and insecure about policy aims. Therefore, their manifesto lies within demand in radical transparency in governmental process, and to use blockchain as a socio-technical model for participatory public governance. Pixel Dreams is a settlement off the shore of Singapore, under a contractual agreement with the government, that it shall exist as an experimental offshore zone of exemption, where its main function is to educate and to attract global institutes of learning, as a think tank that both creates a marketplace of ideas with personalized data storage and an exporter of technical skills, highly relevant to Singapore's goal of a smart nation. However, that is not the end for Pixel Dreams, as it aims to foster a new method of community management with flexibility and transparency. As the first phase of development completes, that established a portion that will directly serve the interests of the Singapore government, whereas smaller sub-communities of transnational origins will grow from that settlement, unified by shared, explicit code of conducts within their blockchain servers. Eventually, this newly developed means of governance hopes to be able to influence more communities in the corridor to attempt their own means of transparent governance. The connectivity of digital systems will mean that the integration of physical and digital systems require a new vocabulary in this new world. New nomenclature is developed that will define the components of the city under the assumption that every resident will have access to their own personal off-grid data storage systems, of which willing reconnection to the grid allows the personal direct trade of such information. Considering the external factors that affect the form of the settlement parcel, the external topology catalog is generated from applying forces upon a circular parcel. Simultaneously, the site is delineated into a series of grids where discrete limited aggregation of pixels are applied into the region in order to generate the skeletal mesh of settlement. Based upon initial calculations of the minimal surface area needed for phases, cellular automata that aggregates based on the existence of 4 to 6 neighbors will create the blueprint for growth, in which termination rules come from the total surface area existing after each loop. Of that catalog, the one that fits best our site condition was chosen. Within the settlement, there is a main data spine that will serve as a physical connectivity infrastructure within. Therefore, a set of paths were chosen along its axis, leading to a selection of internal points of interest in 70-meter intervals that will serve as major connectivity nodes in the settlement. Regions delineated by these nodes allow us to visualize vertical density development using three-dimensional rules to the cellular automata. Using the cellular automata aggregation as a basis, cluster typologies were extracted and assigned prototypical purposes. Each module is created by piecing together squares of the size 15 by 15 meters. Each square is then further divided into a grid of 3.75 meters, which is the basis used to create the spaces and the space frames of each module. Vaults and processors share similar functions. However, due to the criticality of the vault data, They are strategically placed in more private areas. With central core for lab space to be placed as such, inhabitants can use the external corridor space for circulation, communing, breaks, and have a scenic walk to the other parts of the settlement. Housing blocks are arranged to efficiently have as many units as possible in a single space without compromising on circulation space within the area. In a similar fashion to shells, kernels are also arranged to efficiently maximize the spaces for inhabitation and circulation, with 3 different variations to density. As kernels will have spaces to generate renewable energy, the central core of the building is sheltered by solar panels, where the number of panels are based on the number of people residing in the module. The common space largely serves as a spine to the city, where prototypes plug in and out. However, these spaces must be activated in order to accommodate life upon it. Reducing the grid even further, the texture is created per tile in a 0.25 meter resolution, generating an artificial landscape with the potential to host a set of purposeful structures and activities. Using the cluster base, the commons can generate a type of typological functions reminiscent to coastal piers and parks. With each typological function, structures intended to activate activities can be generated, categorized into the class of sports, recreation, education, and leisure. The marketplace consists of learning spaces, data centers, and ports. The integration of such diverse spaces is the extension of having the territory as a knowledge hub, where knowledge is easily shared within the area and internationally. Repositories are created to provide for the essential need of food production. Spaces for aquaculture, as well as kitchens and eateries, are arranged side by side. 3 different types of repositories are created, with the amount of space allocated to food production and eateries are varied. Modules with bigger area for eateries are arranged closest to the commons, while modules with bigger area for food production are furthest away. Based on the conditions of the site, the growth of these clusters is predicted to grow as such, aligning themselves to traffic densities in the shipping routes and the direction of waves. A hyper-connected world will be predominantly defined by the social and political effects it engenders, much more so than its underlying technologies. Without addressing the problems that arise from our datascape, we risk the annihilation of cultures and embodied individual experiences as corporations blend society into the flood of data.